Welcome to Module 11 of our Small Business Certified AI Strategist program. In our last module, we explored how to create and customize the AI tool scorecard. And in previous modules, we used frameworks like the robust and MICE scoring method to maintain objectivity when we are ranking and prioritizing AI opportunities. Now we're moving into the research phase where you'll actually identify potential solutions, whether that means finding off the shelf tools or recommending a custom AI approach. In this module, we'll focus on two main scenarios you're likely to encounter after you've assigned a robust score for each AI opportunity. Scenario one is the robust score is below 20, signaling a preference for off the shelf or ready made solution. And then scenario two, the robust score is fuzzier. This means that maybe certain data points are unclear or the client's requirements are unique, which suggest the need for maybe some sort of automation or custom AI tool. By the end of this module, you'll know how to tackle both situations with confidence, leveraging your IT stack questionnaire, the wish statements, and even AI powered brainstorming tools like ChatGPT and Claude. As a quick refresher, let's start by revisiting why the robust score is so crucial. You'll recall that robust stands for repo of data, optimized budget, uptime importance, security, and time to market. When you sum up the scores across these six categories, a lower total typically suggests simpler solutions are more suitable, while a higher or uncertain scores may require deeper research or custom built approaches. In scenario one, the robust score below 20 indicates that the client might be well served by an off the shelf or pre built AI solution. So here's the recommended path. When it comes to market research, look for established vendors who offer packaged tools in the same domain, like finance automation, chatbots, marketing analytics, etc. Also, I recommend using peer reviews on platforms like Capterra or G2 and watch for vendor demos and gather use case studies. Then, once you have identified, let's say, a short list of tools that you think will check the box of that particular wish statement, you can start pilot testing. And that means simply registering an account or scheduling a demo. If you have time and the budget permits, try to run a pilot test of how the off the shelf tool handles your client's wish statement. For example, I wish I could automate invoice approval so I can focus on strategy. This is a good time for you to also reach out to somebody in their sales department and to say, here are all the things that I'm looking for. Here are my three wish statements. Do you guys do these things? And then have them reply to that. Another thing that I like to do is to also take the AI tool scorecard, whether it's security or integrations, if those are important, and use those as your validation for questioning the sales reps and asking them for links to their privacy policy or their security stance, or even asking them, where is this data stored, and see if they are upfront with those answers. Typically, the more transparent that these vendors are with you, the better it is for your assessment and recommendation. So check to see if the vendor can meet these kind of key requirements for the wish statement. And then, in addition to that, check to see if the vendor can meet any of the key requirements or key items from your IT stack questionnaire. An example would be, does this tool integrate easily with Microsoft 365? Or can this tool be integrated in their existing IT stack to make user adoption more seamless? So once you've identified a particular off the shelf tool and you've pilot tested it, you think that everything looks great, then you need to make sure you lean into the AI tool scorecard. At this point, you have assigned weights to things like cost, integration, security. So make sure that you go through that scorecard to kind of pressure test to see if this tool will meet that minimum criteria that you've set with the client. If the off the shelf option meets or exceeds the threshold of, let's say, 80, you can confidently recommend it. And if it falls short, continue your search and consider the second scenario, exploring workflow automation or even custom AI. Now, at this stage, even if your robust score is, let's say, below 20, that is just indicative of you searching for an off the shelf solution. Sometimes you'll have a wish statement that doesn't have a solution that is built for it yet. So it's not a hard and fast rule that you will always find an off the shelf tool for a score below 20. It's just the robust scores are more of a guide for where you should be putting your attention. Now, for the second scenario where we have the fuzzier scores, the robust score isn't straightforward. Maybe key data is missing and the client's security needs are unusually high, or the existing IT environment is quite complex. In these cases, you might end up recommending either custom AI or some sort of automation. And remember, automations can be broken down into three categories. One is just a general automation, which is more like a Zapier type of automation. The second is an AI workflow. AI workflows are automations that have some sort of large language model or AI step in the middle. And then the third type of automation is the agent automation. Agent automations are more hands off, where they perform tasks without you having to set up each individual task and defining each trigger in the task. So, at this stage of your research, I recommend using ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity as your thought partner. One effective approach here is to start a new conversation in, let's say, Claude, and uploading the client's IT stack questionnaire along with relevant wish statements. You want to go ahead and upload that questionnaire into a new chat inside of ChatGPT or inside of Claude, and you want to say, here is the IT stack questionnaire from a client. Go ahead and remember this, and I'm going to ask you questions about it. And what you can do is you can go through that and have the prompt or the chat remember effectively the IT stack. And then you want to go into the relevant wish statements that you're trying to solve for. From there, what you want to do is take the wish statement and say, here is an AI opportunity that we've identified inside of the business. And based on these wish statements and the client's existing IT stack environment, can you recommend a high level workflow, including data ingestion steps, security considerations, and possible triggers for automation that involve AI workflows or agentic AI? This can kickstart your brainstorming session, especially when the path forward seems a little fuzzy or murky. You can also ask it to generate a flowchart, which is one of my favorite things to do. Even a rough text based diagram can clarify where the custom scripts can go or if advanced AI components might fit. The tool that I like to lean on for this stage is Claude. So I'll open up a new chat in Claude and I'll say, I'm an AI strategist and I've been hired by a business that has this IT stack. So please review this IT stack and I will refer to it later. And then I'll press enter and then I'll go into the next chat and I will paste in the wish statements. And I'll say, here are the wish statements that we have identified as AI opportunities for the business. And then I'll press enter. And then I'll go into the final prompt, which is, based on these wish statements and the client's IT stack, can you recommend a high level workflow, including data ingestion steps, security considerations, and possible triggers for automation? And what you're going to get is you're going to typically get some sort of written output. At this stage, what I like to do is review the written output. And if it's good enough, if I think that there's some legs there, then I'll say, please generate this output or workflow or AI tool, whatever it recommends, into a flowchart diagram. And Claude is really great at these flowchart diagrams. Once it generates a flowchart diagram that you can get on board with, that you believe is possible, that you've kind of pressure tested, go ahead and take a screenshot of that flowchart in any relevant description of the tool that you have brainstormed with Claude. Now, flowcharts are invaluable regardless of whether you end up with an off-the-shelf or custom solution. Once you have this draft workflow, I recommend that you iterate, ask follow-up questions, and ask things like, where does this data get validated? And how do we handle these exceptions or errors? And then you want to continue to refine and really use Claude as your brainstorming partner. So if the flow looks overly complex, consider whether you truly need that level of customization or if a simpler approach would suffice. And then the final step is really researching the feasibility of this. So You can cross check this with your robust categories, or you can take these flowcharts and paste them into different models like Perplexity or ChatGPT, and to say, hey, here's a flowchart that I came up with for XYZ, and here is the IT stack. Is this feasible? Is this something that can be done? Please review the API documentation for XYZ. So once you have peace of mind that these are feasible and you've done your research, you've looked through API documentation, and you say, you know what, this workflow actually could work, then save these flowcharts. Take screenshots of the flowcharts and any descriptions for your AI tool description worksheet. These will serve as the backbone for your final recommendation for this particular tool solving this particular AI opportunity for the client. So at this stage, that's it. And that wraps up Module 11. Now, I know I've condensed down a lot of the research, which is a little more time intensive than I just had led on. You'll want to use multiple large language models, and you'll even want to do your own search and research for the brainstorming sessions or the output of the brainstorming sessions to make sure that the recommendations that have been designed are actually feasible and if they are the most high value path forward for your client's deliverable. By addressing both low robust scenarios favoring off the shelf solutions and the kind of higher score or fuzzier robust scores that lead to more custom or workflow based approaches, you now have a comprehensive research playbook. And today you have learned how to systematically vet off the shelf tools with pilot tests and scorecards, and then how you can use ChatGPT, Claude, or Perplexity as a thought partner to brainstorm workflows and flowcharts when the solution path is unclear. And then you learned why it's essential to document everything, the flowcharts, viability scores, the pilot feedback for your AI tool description worksheet, which is what's next. So that leads me to Module 12, where we'll build on these insights that we've created to create a finalized AI tool description that communicates your proposed solution into a clear, client-friendly format. So let's get started with Module 12.